Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Jai Madhavaki. Chad. Hare Krishna. Dear devotees, today we're reading from Chaitanya Charitamrita. So usually on Sundays, Animai Sachisuta Prabhu is doing these readings, but today he is not here, and that's why he asked me, gave me very much mercy, read from Chaitanya Charitamrita. what I absolutely didn't deserve. So we begin, as always, with Srila Prabhupada's Transcendental Diary, his traveling, written by, noted by his personal servant, Harisham Das. Srila Prabhupada is in Sri Vrindavan Dhama. So the last edition of Blitz carried a very favorable article on Satya Sai Baba, making outrageous claims about his so-called goodhood. This evening, Pradyumna and I met Srila Prabhupada for a short while to discuss the writing of a letter challenging the yogi on various points. I read out some passages from the newspaper. Baba personifies this philosophy that God in man and man in God is the basis of religion. As he told me, God is man and man is God. And all of us have something of God, the divine spark within us. All men are divine, like myself, with the spirit embodied in human flesh and bone. The only difference is that they are unaware of this godhood. Prabhupada was quite disgusted, unaware. So God, how? He is unaware, just see. They made God so cheap, I said. Prabhupada's lip circled a little, the rascal. And the next part is even worse, I said, and continued to read. For the doubting or confused minority to which section I then belonged, Swamiji has this message. Those who want to secure pearls from the sea have to dive deep to fetch them. It does not help them to dabble among the swallows' waves near the shore and say that the sea has no pearls and that all stories about them are false. Likewise, if a person wants to secure the love and grace of the Avatara, he must also dive deep and get submerged in Sai Baba. Then only will become, then only will he become one with me and carry me in his innermost heart. Everyone can say like that, Prabhupada responded. What you have done as God. He reiterated another quote from the paper. God is an Indian, and shook his head. Making things very complicated, he said. And then he asked, so anything about us? He, the writer, criticized. God is an Indian. That is a criticism? No, no. This is a glorification, I answered. He is a nationalist, so he is saying God is an Indian, because it's supposed to be very good. How God can be Indian, Prabhupada asked. Then how he is God? God must be for everywhere, for everyone. I paraphrased more of the article. He says here that he is the image of Krishna incarnate. They say that he is Shiva's and Parvati combined together. He certainly embodies both masculinity and femininity. Krishna, as we read of him in the scriptures, must have resembled Swamiji. His walk is that of a dancer, floating in a graceful movement. Prabhupada shook his head some more and said that he had heard enough. He moved to the garden and told Pradyumna, so you're right. I have already told you. I cannot speak now. You're right. I have given you already hints. Pradyumna began underlining various statements in the article and formulating a response. Before leaving Srila Prabhupada alone in the garden to relax, he went over some of the points. Avyaktam Vyaktim Appanam. He says, I come from the formless. But Krishna says anyone who says that is abudhaya. Prabhupada gave him another argument to use. Besides that, he says in another place that as they pass through our existence, in the past we existed, now we exist, in future we shall continue. Then, when he becomes avyakta, past, present, future, there are three times. So if every time he is person when he becomes imperson, and God is an Indian, that is also Raskodam. He says, Sarvaya Nishu Kantiya Sambhavanti Murtayaya Aham Bija Pradaha Pita. So, how he is Indian? Throughout the whole universe, as many forms of body and there, he is the Father. So, how he is Indian? Pradyumna quoted from Bhagavad Gita 9:11, and Prabhupada added, Tanum Ashritaha. This concept of Indian, European, is there because you are a mudha. Just directly charge him, directly, that you are a mudha, you are a rascal immediately. Let him speak and send it to the newspaper that this letter we have sent challenging this rascal. Let him reply. If he does not reply, silent, that means he accepts that he is rascal. Pradyumna added that Sai Baba claims that self-realization is God realization. Pradyumna responded strongly as if talking to Baba himself. But you are not self-realized. You are a madman, a rascal. How you can be self-realized? A madman cannot be self-realized. When I observed that if Sai Baba was Krishna before, how could he be disagreeing with what the Bhagavad Gita says? Prabhupada tacked on a punchline. You are not Krishna. Because you were Krishna, then how you can be a rascal? Krishna is not the rascal. We left the garden and Pradyumna got busy writing up all the points into a letter. So I read much because it was just a passage about the article of Sai Baba. Um, it's a very, um, and that is Blitz article. That's a very impersonal article, and Prabhupada was so much outrageous. He was disgusted when Pradyumna read him this article, showed him this article. I found something here on internet also, but it's the same thing. Right. So I can read from here. Srila Prabhupada dictated the outline of the letter to Pradyumna. Pradyumna sent this letter to Sai Baba. Dear Sai Baba, just recently in the Blitz paper published on Give the Date, we were surprised to find one article God is in India. And you have claimed to become an incarnation of God to save the human society. What is the ground of your claiming as incarnation? And what you have done to save the human society? Will you explain for enlightenment of us, or many of us? We have got the list of incarnations recorded in the Vedic scriptures and their respective activities also. So where is that record in the Vedic scripture about your appearing as incarnation? Lord Krishna's incarnationness is fully described in Srimad Bhagavatam. Similarly, Lord Ramachandra's incarnationness, or Lord Buddha's incarnationness, Lord Chaitanya's incarnationness, we have got full information in Vedic literatures. Where is your incarnation described? Will you kindly give the reference? Anyone can say, like you, that one is incarnation, as it has become a fashion nowadays. But is that claim the only proof of one's becoming incarnation? Some such unauthorized claim of becoming an incarnation is certainly ridiculous. Then you have claimed to take form what he has written. So Pradyumna here read Baba's claim to be an avatar and quotation, armed with the fullness of the power of the formless God. A bit more. Pradyumna continued, so you have claimed to take a form of the formless God, but we see to take a form of the formless God. But we see in the Bhagavad Gita the God is never formless. He had Pradyumna read out verse 7.24 from the Gita and its purport, telling Pradyumna to quote the verse in the letter along with a quote from Yamanujacharya found in the purport. Prabhupada went on with his dictation. Only the rascals and less intelligent class of men think that God is formless, and when he incarnates, he takes a particular form. So, in this connection, the statement of Bhagavatam is especially important. Brahmiti Paramatmiti, Bhagavaniti Satyate. Brahman is impersonal, Paramatma is localized, and Bhagavan is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So that is much more here. The answer was Srila Prabhupada dictated to Pradyumna to be sent to the Sai Baba to to clear this situation. So we have understood with what Srila Prabhupada had to do, not only with building the temples and not only with building up the brahmacharis, the sannyasis, his disciples, but he had very much to do um, to contradict, to kill this, um, how he say, rascals, these impersonal people who were making our movement polluted. Because it is, he said, it is modern that the people, some saints, they are not, certainly. Yes, they claimed or claim themselves to be gods. Yes, without any, absolute, any qualification or qualities to, to be even, that I say, a godly person. Because who is criticizing God, that is to criticize God. Yes, that is only impersonal person can be, who is doing it maybe not directly, or atheists who are doing it directly. And Srila Prabhupada in his lectures, he called impersonalists as atheists, because it is very, very dangerous. There are many examples. Many examples of the people, for example, in our temple, there were devotees, yeah, who looked like good devotees, and then they left. And they left to come to the Christianity, to go to the church to preach the Jesus teachings that are also pure and understand it's very nice, but it is not what we are doing. Yes, we have nothing to do against any religion, any name of the God they are believing in, but that is up to them. That is not up to us, and we are not interfering in the politics and in these things as well. Too. Why? Because our movement, our sadhana is tough, is very tough. To get up morning, to chant, to come to the temple, to learn the scriptures, to learn by heart, to make service, uh, to make the service, to let it be one day devotional service, and we're doing it everything consciously. So we are always one pointed on the devotion to do our service for Krishna. And without speaking too much about the other things, that Krishna is absolutely beautiful, God, Supreme Personality of Godhead. He has his family, he has his daily schedule, he is herding the cows, he is even playing chess, he has his associates, different forms, but different forms doesn't mean that he is formless and that he, what is here, that he even should want what I understood from here. Ishvara Parama Krishna Sachitananda Vigraha Madhyarati Kodidam Sarva Karana Karana. He is unborn. And we should be very attentive. We should be very, very much attentive. If someone is speaking these speeches to us, we shouldn't listen to. We shouldn't fight. What I can say is simply live as so quick as possible, not to listen to it, not to soak for our consciousness these stupid, rascal long speeches. Yes, and I was not that time with Srila Prabhupada. If I were, yeah, simply I feel very angry. I'm not certainly a disciple of Srila Prabhupada directly, but I feel so angry that many people, they try consciously sometimes to spoil and to interfere women today, for example, just in the book Kela. I have nothing against it, but in the book Kela, who can key from the book Kela? Not everybody needs the code, but I found how to say the shield, the sign, just standing so placative, so directly that we should see it. Today morning, yesterday it was not here. So Jesus live, so please read Evangelium in our book Kela. Okay, Jesus can bless us. It's not so bad to have this thing that is we will be fighting, we will be hating the followers of Jesus. They are very much mistaken. No, Jesus uh, is a pure disciple of Krishna. Yes, we know that's all. Yes, and he was spending many years in India, and we have nothing against him, and we have nothing against the people who are believing in him. That is their belief. Let's do it. Yes, but it was provocative, especially put in our book. So that's what I'm saying. We should learn how to differentiate. That is, Kanishka Adhikari, Madhyama Adhikari. Madhyama Adhikari is one of his most important qualities to differentiate who is really innocent and who is not, and who is trying to pollute, to spoil our absolutely unique and absolutely pure movement because they can't understand and they don't want to serve. And personally, they also deny Krishna's energies. Yes, they also deny it, so only Brahman, only to stay in this bodily shine, bodily shine, bodily light of Krishna, and yeah, what they enjoy, that's very boring for us, yes. No devotional service, no communication, no relationships, and especially mm, no service for Krishna Livas, because we are servants, we are not directly taking part in Krishna's Leelas, but we are serving. For example, my name is Leelamrita, so I'm not an actor, and yes, but I'm trying to do everything to uh, ideas also, and they help me in respond also so much to um, to to go on with our devotional service for Krishna, for Srila Prabhupada, for our Guru. So please be attentive, very attentive, because every of us can be the victim of this of these people. So now I'm sorry, I wanted to say something. I think Srila Prabhupada can forgive me for saying something. It's all on the basis of his letter and Pradyumna's participation in discussing on this article. So Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So now we're going to Chaitanya Charitamrita. Not to waste the time. So we read from Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Lila, chapter 6, and the first text is 102. Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. So text number 102. Iti dvapara urvisham. Stuvanti Jagatishwaram. Oh no, it's not correct. No, man, there's a melon. Shridvapara Urvesham. No. Oh, we should read it on the melody of Jai Jai Shri Chaitanya Jai Nityananda. Hmm? So it's correct what I'm reading, yes? Read it, please. Etivapara Urvesham. Stuvanti Jagatishwaram. Nanata Travidhanena. Bhakti Tatha Shriman. Idhadvapara Urvesham. Stuvanti Jagatishwaram. Nanatantra Vidhanena. Alavati Tatha Shriman. Iti Dvapara Urvesham. Stuvanti Jagatishwaram. Nanatantra Vidhanena. Alavati Tatha Shriman. Dvapara Urvesham. Stuvanti Jagatishwaram. Nanatantra Vidhanena. Alavati Tatha Shriman. Dvapara Urvesham. Stuvanti Jagatishwaram. Nanatantra Vidhanena. Alavati Tatha Shriman. Dvapara Urvesham. Stuvanti Jagatishwaram. Nanatantra Vidhanena Lavati Tathashvino Nityavara Urdeshan Tuvanti Jagadishwaram Nanatantra Vidhanena Lavati Tathashvino. Yes, everybody. Okay. Now it is called no translation. It is called synonyms. In Chaitanya Charitamrita. Iti das Dvapara in Dvapara Yuga Urvisha O King Stuvanti offer prayers Jagatishwaram unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead Nana various Tantra of the supplementary Vedic literatures Vidhanana by regulative principles Kalau in the age of Kali Api certainly Tatha so also Shrinu Shia. Translation. In the age of Kali, as well as in Dvapara Yuga, the people offer praise to the Supreme Personality of Godhead by various mantras and observe the regulative principles of the supplementary Vedic literatures. Now please hear all this from me. There is no papa, that is only this note. This is a quotation from Srimad Bhagavatam 11.5.31. So that's why we're going to the next text, number 103. Krishna Varnam Trisha Krishnam Sangapangastapashadam Yajnai Sankirtana Praya Yajantihi Sumethasaham. Translation. In this age of Kali, those who are intelligent perform this congregational chanting of the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, worshipping the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who appears in this age always describing the glories of Krishna. That incarnation is yellowish in hue and is always associated with his plenary expansions in Klema, such as Sri Nityananda Prabhu, and personal expansions in Klema, such as Gadadhara, as well as devotees and associates in Klema, such as Swarup Damodara. A very short purport. This verse from Srimad Bhagavatam 11.5.32 is explained by Sri Jiva Goswami in his Kama Santarpa, as quoted by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur in regard to the explanation of Adi Lila, third chapter, verse 51. The next text, number 104. Suvarna Varna Hemam Govangas Chandanangadim Sanya Sakricham Chama Shanto Nishta Shanti Parayanaha. The Lord in Klema, in the incarnation of Gaura Sundara, has a golden complexion. Indeed, his entire body, which is very nicely constituted, is like molten gold. Sandalwood pulp is smeared all over his body. He will take the fourth order of spiritual life in Klema, sannyasa, and will be very self-controlled. He will be distinguished from Mayavadi sannyasi in that he will be fixed in devotional service and will spread the Sankirtana movement. Just this text has to do with what we were reading from the Purport. Gopinath Acharya quoted this verse from Mahabharata. There is no such a long purport. That's why we're going to the next text. 105. Tamara Getaka, Tamara Getaka, Taranahi Prayachana, Usarabhamitiyana Vichararopana. Gopinath Acharya then said, there is no need to quote so much evidence from the Shastras, for you are a very dry speculator. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya is speaking. There is no need to sow seeds in barren land. Yes, barren land, it is the land, fruitless land, where nothing can grow. No purport. The next text, 106. Tamara Paratandra Kripaya Vyahave Yesaba Siddhantata Vitumika Kahivan. When the Lord will be pleased with me, you will also understand these conclusions and will quote from the Shastras. No purport. The next text, number 107. Tamara Yeshishya Kahi, Tamara Yeshishya Kahi Kutarka, Nanavada Ihara Kidosha E Mayara Prasada. The false arguments and philosophical word jugglery of your disciples are not faults of theirs. They have simply received the benediction of Mayavada philosophy. There is no purport here, but if you allow, I say only one word. It is we were last time that was a lecture from Srimad Bhagavatam that we should get the knowledge from the mouths only of the pure devotees, yes, of the person of the devotees who are following the verdicts of Shastras. And that is a very direct example of what can happen when the Shastras or Vedic knowledge is uh, how to say, is given not from the clear, not of the pure course. Then the disciples, they take this knowledge and their consciousness is spoiled. The next text, number 108. Yachaktayo vadatam vathalambai vivada sambadavo bhavanti kurvanti chaisham muhuratma moham tasmai namo nanta gunaya bhumnem. I offer my respectful obeisances unto the supreme personality of Godhead, who is full of unlimited qualities and whose different potencies being bring about agreement and disagreement between these disputants. Thus, the illusory energy again and again covers the self-realization of both disputants and disputants of disputants. That is the same thing what was mentioned in the previous verse, that how it happens when the illusory energy covers us, when we are not following the instructions of our gurus, of Srila Prabhupada, and reading different literature and having association with the persons who don't understand absolutely what they're doing. There is also no purport, but only one purport, but very short. This is a quotation from Srimad Bhagavatam 6.4.31. Our next text, 108. Yuktam cha santi sarvatra va santi brahmana yatha ayam adiyam utgrishya vadatam kim no dukkhatam. Translation. In almost all cases, whatever learned brahmanas speak becomes accepted. Nothing is impossible for one who takes shelter of my illusory energy and speaks under her influence. Then the purport. I think there is something grammatical, but okay, we'll see. Purport. In this verse from Srimad Bhagavatam 11.22.4, the Supreme Personality of Godhead explains that his illusory energy can perform the impossible. Such is the power of the illusory energy. In many cases, philosophical speculators have covered the real truth and have boldly set forth false theories. So boldly means they emphasize their false theories. Have boldly set forth false theories. In ancient times, philosophers like Kapila, Gautama, Jaimini, Kanada, and similar Brahmanas propounded useless philosophical theories. And in modern days, so-called scientists are setting forth many false theories about the creation, backed up by seemingly logical arguments. This is all due to the influence of the supreme law's illusory energy. The illusory energy, therefore, sometimes appears correct because it is emanating from the supreme correct. To avoid the very bewildering illusory influence, one must accept the words of the Supreme Personality of Godhead as they are. Only then can one escape the influence of the illusory energy. Sanskrit again. Yuktam cha santi sarvatra vashanti brahmana yatha mayam madhyam udgrihya vadatam kim no durkhatam. Translation. In almost all cases, whatever learned Brahmanas speak becomes accepted. Nothing is impossible for one who takes shelter of my illusory energy and speaks under her influence. So that is the same topic we were speaking last time in that Srimad Bhagavatam class, that the Shastras, that the Vedic scriptures, that the knowledge, Vedic knowledge should be spread by the pure devotees and should be told from the mouths of the pure devotees, Tattvadarshi, who have already known the truth, who know the truth, and that's why truthfully and clear and sweet in the sweet language, they can real sweet English, they can transfer this knowledge to the others. And then the others, the disciples who are listening to this real and clear knowledge, they can transfer it further. And then the disciples who are listening from these disciples who are spreading the clear knowledge of the Shastras can transfer it further. And that is our Hare Krishna movement. Sadhu, Shastra, Guru. From these 3 points, the most important point is, they all are very important, is Shastras. Because we should follow all the verdicts, all the prescriptions, all the regulations, all the rules of Shastras. When we're reading such great um, such great works as Chaitanya Charitamrita, we can see and we can feel that these scriptures are very, very pure because they give us very differentiated understanding on what is favorable for us and what is not. Because Lord Chaitanya was spreading this knowledge and he wanted us to spread it too. That's why he wanted us that we can spread this knowledge, and Lord Nityananda was going from door to door and claiming, he was appealing to the people, asking the people, please go out, chant the holy names, chant the holy name, chant the holy names, because the people who don't know what is our teachings about, they they can't learn them without glorifying the holy names, without the Supreme Personality of Godhead, without His glorified, always being glorified, and should be always being glorified names, we can't understand the essence of Hare Krishna movement. Without Mahamantra, we are dead. We are not alive. Because Mahamantra is the directly uh, contact, directly relationship, directly appeal for devotional service to Krishna. And that's why Lord Nityananda and Lord Chaitanya, Lord Nityananda's wife Janaki, they were trying to spread this movement all over the world. What for? That logical comes it from here, that in every corner, in every village, in every city, the holy names of the Lord should be glorified. We are glorifying very much ourselves, our talents, our beauty when we are young, our as if understanding of the philosophy, even of this philosophy. But if we allow ourselves to know that we understand that means of the Lord. Who said it? Socrates. He said, I know that I don't know anything. He was a very enlightened person. He was a very wise person. If we don't know anything, then we should listen to the persons who know. That is the meaning of this. I don't know anything. If we feel we know something, we are immediately proud, just puffed up like a personalist because they think we know. They know everything is Brahman. They know this. They know that there are no incarnations of Krishna. There are no relationships. That's why without incarnations there are no relationships, and there is nothing to do. Yes, only to swim in this Brahmajyoti, in the lights of bodily effulgence of Krishna. So, mm, in one lecture, Bhakti Gauradesh Maharaj, I was listening to it years ago, many years, not many, but at the beginning, yes. He said that Mayavadis, they are also intelligent persons. They can be very, very, how to say, nice persons, very sympathic. Yes, look like, yes, they are. They are doing nothing directly bad. Good persons, yes, speaking about philosophy, good language, educated persons know very good Sanskrit, very good Sanskrit. Yes, but it makes nothing our movement. Our movement is practical movement to spread the knowledge of Lord Chaitanya everywhere in the world. And to spread it, we should be trained practically for ourselves. So, what else? Chaitanya Charitamrita is a very highly advanced teachings. It's not for me to speak much about it. I'm thankful that I could touch this moment of sitting on the asasana and speak about Chaitanya Charitamrita. I'm sorry, I have forgotten to say this straight to my Guru. I apologize. If you allow, I say it now. Homogyanatimirandasya Jnana Shalakayam Chakshavamirtam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. I was born in the darkness of ignorance, and my Guru has opened my eyes with a touch of knowledge, and I bring him, I bring my humble businesses to his lordship's feet. So that's all I could say. Читание Чаритамритахи.
In the first part, they mentioned the teachings of Kapila, Germany, Canada, and these philosophers are useless as some these philosophies are useless. But we are giving a lot of importance to the teachings of Kapila. How we can understand?
I don't know, I think that is maybe false Kapila. That is not the Kapila who was speaking about Sankhya philosophy directly, but it's some what can be false. What false can be only what is impersonal. Something called impersonal Kapila. I don't know that what I can say, and now there are two Kapilas. Yes, but if you can say something, please.
I don't know that there are two Kapilas actually. That's why
Okay, that is not a Kapila from Devahuti. Yes, and that's wonderful. My favorite story with Devahuti and Katamamuni, but no time now to speak of it because the story is very logical. And this logic of the story brings us to understand who is Kapila. Muni. He was Muni. So that is the same topic. Why these names are here? The same topic from the mouths of impersonal Munis. Yes, knowledge is polluted. And when we are listening to this knowledge, our consciousness is polluted. That is all about to clear our consciousness. They don't understand. The Muslims, they can't understand. The Christians, they can't. Most of the Christians, they can't understand it. The other religions, they can't understand the aim of our movement. Srila Prabhupada wanted to purify the consciousness, human consciousness all over the world, to make it human consciousness. Yes, because we know this yoga ladder, this animalistic state, we have the possibility to come up from this minimalistic state, even to bhakti state, even what to say about the higher states, yes, even to bhakti state. It's coming through different yogas, different levels, Ashtanga yoga, Jnana yoga, Dhyana yoga, Dharana yoga, Karma yoga, different levels to come to bhakti. One of the disciples of Srila Prabhupada, he wrote a poem about him, and one line of this poem was, "We are made of your mercy." Srila Prabhupada gave us so much mercy that it was so much mercy, he was so powerful that his mercy can come into our consciousness and make us to understand what it means to serve God, to be the servant of God. Tamal Krishna Goswami had written a book, The Servant of God. He didn't say that he was God. Yes, the servant of God. The servant of servant of servant of servant Jivera Sarupahaya. Vishnera Nityadas. We are Jivas. We are made Jivas to serve Krishna, to serve the cause of our being created. We are created to serve. That's why we should follow this way. And to serve, we should know the object of our serving. Very, very concretely and very, very clear. Yes, if we love someone, we want to serve him. If we don't love someone, we don't want to serve him. It's also logical. But we love. We're learning this way of loving devotional service to come one day maybe to the state that we can understand what it means to love God. It's high point, so yes, it's a bit too high to say for me, but we're learning this, the relationships. We're um, loving and devotional relationships. First, between each other. That means das and das. And the material world is very much unhappy. The people here are very much unhappy. We don't want to be unhappy, we want to be happy. Because Srila Prabhupada made from hippies happies. He wanted us all to be happy, and we can be happy, and we should be happy, we will be happy. Hare Krishna. So I don't know if it's the answer. Yes, a very short answer, because then I should investigate to give you really a full answer, not just like offhand answer. Hare Krishna. So I'm sorry, if you allow, may I finish 10 minutes before, because I should. You allow, His Grace Nirmala Prabhu allows, then thank you very much. We are going now to Gauradesh to glorify the holy names of the Lord. Not to sit there hours in the cafe taking pomfrey, I don't know, but to glorify the holy names of the